So I made this red velvet cake and turned it into a beautiful christening cake with flowers, macaroons, some specks of gold luster, and an all-round well-presented cake fit for the occasion. Even better, the customer who ordered this cake was an amazing human being who made the cake making process a memorable experience for me. So in this video, I'll be showing you a detailed guide on how I made this cake with sharp edges, fixed a few cake issues along the way, and hand you foolproof tips on how to make this cake on your own. And if you watch till the end, there is a twist to the details on this cake. So if you're up for learning something new, let's jump right into this. The cake is leveled now, and the first layer of cake is placed on a cake card glued to a cake board using ganache. This is done so the cake has a steady base. Some buttercream is filled into each layer of cake whilst observing the cake is still straight standing when layering. A straight standing cake at this stage will form a good foundation for a polished straight standing cake when the cake is finally complete. A right angle ruler is used to measure for straightness on the side, and a dowel is measured along the side of the cake. This is then cut to the height of the cake and inserted into the cake to hold the layers together. This cake measures 9 inches tall, but I cut the plastic straw dowel to about 8.5 inches to use. The cake is now left in the fridge for up to 30 minutes to chill before the next stage. This is done to keep the cake firm and to stop it shifting when trimming and crumb coating. The cake is brought back to be trimmed, so a clean slice is revealed when the cake is finally cut into. There are also several good reasons to trim a cake. I have a detailed video linked in the description box where I share with you all you need to know about why you should trim your cake or not trim your cake, so please do check that out. Trimming done and the work surface tidied, it's a quick crumb coat before the next step. There is a beginner friendly video in the description box teaching you all about crumb coating with extra information you won't find anywhere else, so please do check that out too. Crumb coating done, I noticed pockets of buttercream showing through the ganache. With a sharp warm knife, I cut the pockets of buttercream out and filled the hole in with some ganache. This is done so at room temperature the buttercream does not cause air pockets, especially when using fondant. Buttercream pockets sorted and excess ganache removed from the top of the cake. The cake is left to chill for 15 minutes before the next layer of ganache is applied. The cake is returned for the next layer, except this time the ganache is applied using a piping bag. The customer requested an ombre layer of colors, so the piping bag helps set the layer of fading colors without the risk of mixing them. First, it's a pink color, followed by a lighter shade of pink, and then a subtle pink to finish on top. I polished the top of the cake with a subtle pink ganache and remove any excess with a scraper to reveal a clean look, and it's off to the next stage. The cake is now left to chill for 20 minutes and I return to apply sparring layers of white ganache. This is to allow texture and depth to the look of the cake. For the white ganache, I mixed 5 grams of sugar flare super white with a drop of warm water and mixed this into plain whipped ganache. I also added a few drops of color mill white food coloring to obtain the white color. Details of how I did this is left in the description box for you to check out. Next, some gold luster dust is mixed into some rejuvenated fluid to form a gold paint. When the cake is returned, a clean dry painting brush is dipped into the gold paint and splattered at an angle onto the cake. This is then left to set before the cake is transferred onto a cake board ready for final decorations. I am using artificial flowers as decorative elements and attaching these to the cake using a cocktail stick and fondant as a barrier. There are a few video tutorials right on this channel where I teach you how I do this. Some of these videos will be linked in the description box for your convenience, so do check those out. Flowers added, some macaroons and a custom topper were placed on top of the cake to finish it off. But, fun fact, this cake was meant to have baby booties. The baby booties were meant to go on top of the cake, but when I finished, I realized the booties will overwhelm the cake, plus the top of the cake was already taken over by the flowers. Lesson learned here for me is the sketch I did not go to plan, but the cake turned out okay nonetheless. And this is the twist in design detail I referenced earlier. The customer sent a glowing feedback to this cake, a sentiment I referenced in the video linked right up here. So check this out for the red velvet cake recipe and what the customer had to say about this cake. I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.